Welcome to the Mad Interview. My name is Nate Tillman. And you are?
Dr. Marc Johnson.
And we are...
I thought we were going...
That's all right. We're going to get it right next time, man. How you doing today, brother? You doing all right?
I'm doing great. It's Monday, right? So I'm doing great.
Yeah, it is Monday. I don't even keep up with the days no more. Hardly. The day of the week, brother. But today, we're going to handle a real serious subject. I see you got in your background right now. You looking sharp today, brother, as always. STDs, man. Something that's hitting this nation and especially communities very, very hard. I don't know if we don't believe in wrapping it up or whatever, but it's on the rampage and wow. So, and I know you're finna break it down as you usually do. So let's get into it. Let's jump off into it. As they say, balls out. So let's rock, baby.
Yeah. Balls to the wall. Well, so this is gonna be.
Go ahead. That's it. Go ahead. I ain't saying nothing.
Wait, you were breaking out. Okay.
Oh, I'm in the woods. I live in the woods. I'm always breaking up. Can you hear me?
But yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Go ahead.
There we go.
I'm setting up. Go ahead.
But yeah, so when it comes to STDs, and for this talk specifically, we're going to be talking about two very common ones, gonorrhea and chlamydia. And this is where I really want to focus this at, okay? In all due respect to women who are impacted by this greatly. I want to focus on men because there's not enough education directly to men, okay? And unlike women, we as men tend not to go to the doctor for whatever reason for anything. And so the education needs to go to men and men specifically. Because right now, okay, just put in blunt terms, sexual activity and behavior is right now, based on physiology and the culture we have, is more rampant amongst men being unprotected and having multiple partners all at once. Okay. And so studies have shown this. Okay. And so what men tend to be with a lot of these STDs are what we call vectors. Not saying women could never do this. I'm not saying this. But what I'm saying is a woman gets checked up way more frequently than a man does. And that man is more likely to have a silent infection with either one of these, more so than a woman, and spread it. Okay. And I want to put that key in there and spread it.
What the silent? What that mean?
Silent means you just don't have symptoms. Okay, you just don't feel it. Okay, and so therefore, if you've got a disease, much like we're living in COVID land, so we've got a coronavirus, right? Mm-hmm. We as people who are infected spread it, and so therefore we move the disease to another person or another host. That's what we call a vector, okay? So if you go to a club one night and you see about 80 dudes and let's say best case scenario, 200 women, right? More than likely, if half the men have a silent infection, then they're going to be the ones to spread it to the majority of women, okay? And if you need a biology lesson to figure out how that's possible, that's a whole nother conversation for another show. All right. Now, the first one I want to start out with today is gonorrhea. Okay. Gonorrhea has a bunch of names, bunch of titles. And I'm sorry, it is hot in my office right now.
Me too.
That I don't control.
Yeah. So
I apologize for that. Yeah. But we're going to talk about gonorrhea. Okay. Now, common STD throughout the history of mankind. Okay, it's a bacteria that is geared to actually infect our what we call genital urinary tract. okay, where you pee out.
Doc.
It is made specifically to be in that environment.
Doc.
Yeah.
Is that disease they say you burning? You know, back in the day, man, I'm burning. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know it is. That's what you say. I used to hear my boys in high school. Yeah. I ain't never had it.
Or
I mean, but burning, yeah. Not me.
But
I never had that. I wasn't no player. you know. That what you say? Now I gotta tell the story. Now I had one guy. I don't call his name. I had one guy. My friend, he was a playboy. He was a more light-skinned dude. He had that old long, pretty hair. Damn, but damn. That dude stayed with something. He stayed with something every month. I don't know if he probably got a dick.
Right.
He probably chopped it off by that, man. Oh yeah, we're gonna be wrong this episode. Y'all parental discretion is advised.
Y'all gotta get ready for it.
Advisory is advised. All right, go ahead, Doc.
Right. Don't play this as a birds and the bees conversation for your children. Okay, this is for grown people right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's a fun history lesson though. So people wonder why it's called the clap. So I don't think there's a definitive story on it, but one origin of it is the treatment for back in the day. Okay, back in the day, meaning in the dark age. We're talking like the 1400s and such, right? So one of the main symptoms is actually having pus coming out when you pee. Okay. And so basically, if you ever had a rising, a boil, an abscess or something, you essentially develop that within the hang low. Can we say hang low?
What?
The twig and berries.
Hang low.
Yeah, the hang low.
Yeah.
And so the obvious thing is, okay, you've got a blockage. You're not peeing as much. Because the main thing is, other than the peeing, it's you can't pee. Okay? Right. And so what's the treatment? You put the hang low on a brick.
Ooh.
Okay? Smash.
I heard of that. Yeah.
And that's why it's called the clap.
I heard Dr. Liverman.
And now,
not Dr. Liverman, but Dr. What's the first black doctor ever gave it? No, what's his name?
Dr. And that's
Dr. Lott.
And we did the whole, Dr. Lott.
Yeah, Dr. Lott.
I can't believe him.
He said, Dr. Johnson, man, me. I heard shout out me, man. When you talk, don't you see me out here? But yeah, shout out to Dr. Lott, man. He was the first one of the black doctors who came to Brookhaven community, from what I understand, and really did a service for his community. And they got a park named after him, if I'm not mistaken. And man, we need more. And I look up to like you and Dr. Hall and other doctors, especially black doctors.
Yeah.
Black doctors, what I'm talking about. Black doctors who came back and give back to the community where you all could be anywhere in the world and go make many dollars anywhere in the world. But you all chose to come back to our hometown and give a service to us. So thank you, Doc. Thanks a lot, Doc. Because that's really great.
Absolutely.
And thanks, Dr.
Hey, no problem.
Ever hear that. So big shout out. Give a shout out to all y'all, man. Thanks. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, and that was a good, I can't believe I forgot his name. I feel ashamed. Anyway. So that's one of the origins of the clap. Now, I've also been told that if you say the word clapper, then that refers to a prostitute in France. Okay. And the disease was called, I believe, like clapper bubo, which is basically a disease caused by going to a brothel,
Wash your hands.
Simple term now would be a whorehouse overall. So you don't want this. It doesn't feel good. You don't want anything wrong with your hang low. Okay. Because at the end of the day, if you need what
I'm sorry, I was talking about Nelson. Don't pay me no attention. You know we ain't gonna be that professional, man. I watch too much Charlemagne the God.
No, it's like a disease.
Other guy.
A disease of the hang low is like wash your hands.
Oh, okay. I'm slow. Go ahead, bro.
Oh,
wash your damn hands, then, man. ain't better stop the family claps with the halo. I'll try to be a computer. But go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna refocus myself. Okay.
You're gonna need to. You know how I am, man. You shut that.
You might have to edit. That's so funny. Okay.
Good.
Okay.
I let people know you're human. You gotta let people know
and so, right. So basically, gonorrhea overall, gonorrhea is a bacteria. It is not a virus. It is a bacteria that is made to travel into either a male or a female, or just in general, a human urethra. Okay, that's what you pee out of. And so this thing has figured this out. This thing has built itself to attack us from that route, okay, just like many other bacteria do. And so we've got to be aware of it so we can test it, treat it, and go from there and get rid of it, okay? Now, the problem is not enough of us guys get checked, okay? Because we still live in a time where it's still treatable, okay? Unlike a lot of viruses, this is very treatable. But if you let it hang around, it can cause a lot of issues, okay? Worst case scenario, yeah, you could definitely die from this, okay? Kind of the worst thing other than dying, you could be definitely sterile from this kind of stuff. So it's something you need to give your whole mind to, young men out there. And just to give you some stats, okay, majority of cases happen with men and women between the ages of 18 and 40, okay? You want to know why? When do we make babies? More than likely in that range. When are you most sexually active? In that age range, typically, okay? And that's why we really have to really have to get on top of this. Because just to give you the country stats, now, I'm going to tell you this in terms of cases per 100,000, okay? So that means if I went to a state, if I was like some titan, and I can grab 100,000 people, shake it out, and whatever's left in my hands is how many people have gonorrhea, okay? So per 100,000 people, Texas has 167, okay? That's pretty high. That's pretty mid-grade, okay? Florida, 156, okay? California, 200, okay? If I had 100,000 people, 200 people would have gonorrhea.
Okay.
New York is 188. You want to give me a guess on what Mississippi is?
I don't want to embarrass myself, bro.
327 guys that's got off.
The ratio.
Okay? Because there ain't that many people in Mississippi. So what you're saying is, if